Welcome to another episode of Reece's Reviews, brought to you by mygeekculture.com.au. I am your co-host, Matt, and I am with my other co-host, Reece. So,
yo, what is up happening? What's happening, everybody?
Cool. And we've got a jam-packed episode for you, as always. So, let's get straight into I guess we'll go into it, eh?
Hell yeah.
That's if you're ready, Reece, but hold on. We'll wait for the audience to kind of get ready. Get ready. Come on. Yeah, nearly there. And there we go. We're just too far ahead of the audience right now. Okay, nice. Now you're up to date. We'll go straight into entertainment honorable mentions.
Okay, so entertainment honorable mentions. There's two I'm going to be discussing today, and one of them is kind of a personal one for me because I am talking about obviously a certain success that's going through with Wicked for Good. Now, it's a little bit of a lag at the moment because Wicked for Good, as a recording of this podcast, is going into its third weekend. But I thought it would be a good thing to kind of relish and kind of congratulate it on the wins that it had. So, opening weekend, the film opened to 150 million domestic and 226 million worldwide, besting the first film, which was released last year, because the first Wicked movie opened to 112.5 million domestic and 164 million globally. So Wicked for Good has already beat it on its opening weekend from its predecessor with the first one, which is what you kind of want from a sequel. You weren't kind of wanting to go a directory. You wanted to go up. So it's definitely the popularity over the last 12 months, like the biggest intermission in the world, which is what our esteemed friend Stuart said on his review. So it's the biggest intermission that we've ever had for a show. We've been waiting 12 months for the next act. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely that wait, and all the TikToks and Instagram videos, all about the dancing has definitely paid off with the fact that this film has opened at what it did. Now, with that being said, Wicked has also beaten some records as well. It was the second biggest opening at the 2025 domestic box office, ahead of Lilo and Stitch, which opened at 146 million, and behind only a Minecraft movie at 162.7 million. So it's pretty much the second biggest opening this year at the domestic box office in North America. So, depending on what happens, I think that's the opening weekend for this. I think another film has recently knocked it off, which we'll be talking about very shortly. But hey, that is an accomplishment to have. Absolutely, it has. It is also the second biggest opening for a Universal of all time. Not just this year, but of all time. The second biggest opening for all time at the domestic box office for Universal, behind only 2015's Jurassic World.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Those are impressive figures.
Yeah. And so it's also had the biggest opening ever at a November box office. So ever, and in November release, this is the biggest box office release for it. For a musical movie, ahead of Disney's Moana 2, which opened to 139.7 million. So it's breaking all these kind of interesting records in a way, and it is the biggest opening ever for a Broadway adaptation as well. So I have a personal investment in this IP. So this warms my heart that this has been received so well. It's making these records, and it's doing so well as much as it is now. Since we last spoke previously, I have gone out and seen it again. I've seen it twice now, and I still have the same kind of thoughts that the first 40 minutes was still a bit scripted and lagged a little bit, but I was so much more caught up in the narrative. I was able to really connect a lot more second time around with the dialogue and the characters, and especially I got a lot more emotional listening to No Good Deed and For Good, a lot more emotional, like even more than I did the first time. So I just think this film definitely contributes to having multiple watchings because you get a lot more emotions out of it. And just so I'm so happy that this film has done as well as it has. I hope it's continued to do so. I think it's going to have some competition. Like this last week, we got release of Zootopia 2, which is that's kind of going. At the moment in America, they're doing a lot of press screenings and early screenings for Avatar: Fire and Ash, so that's coming out in a couple of weeks. So I think Wicked for Good, I think will be in the cinemas until the new year. I think they're going to have it's going to have a good theatrical run, and I hope that one of the biggest days of going to the movies is Christmas and Boxing Day. Those are the two biggest days of the movies. People go to the movies on those days. I personally go to the movies every Boxing Day. I always see there's always I always call it the Boxing Day triple, because there's always 3 tentpole films that come out on Boxing Day, and so I'm looking forward to that. So I think this year we have The Housemaid, which is the new Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney film, which is a bit of a thriller kind of looking film. We also have Anaconda, the funny comedy movie with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. So that's coming out on Boxing Day. And we also have a movie called Rental Family, which is the new drama with Brendan Fraser, which I'm really intrigued about. A lot of people giving him some award buzz maybe again, so I'm really open for that. So I know you probably don't have that much skin in the game when it comes to musicals and Wicked, but what's your kind of process, or what's your thought process over hearing everything that Wicked was able to accomplish?
Oh, well, it just sounds like that they're on a winner there, and just shows you how much I follow the film series. But will there be a third movie?
Well, that's been in discussion. Like, everyone's saying, will Universal make another film? Because there was the talk about the author. There's a talk about there's going to be a book about Glinda, and that Stephen Schwartz, the adapter and the original adapter, the lady who originally adapted the stage show, is going to come in and do music and compose it and things like that. So I don't know if they're going to go down that road. A lot of people thinking they're milking it, but hey, it's show business. That's what it is. It's business. If they're going to make money, they're going to bring out product that's going to bring money in. So,
or they could do a spin-off, but turn it into a TV series.
I don't think Wicked would work on a small screen. I think it's a theatrical.
Too expensive?
Not much that. I think it works theatrically, and I think they done the good story of that. The way they ended part 2, they could have left it a little bit further to extend the story further, but focus more on Glinda. So they could do that, but I'm content with what they've gotten. But hey, things are always moving forward, and I'm intrigued to see what the future holds. If they try and do another one, I think they're just doing it trying to reap on the success that these two had. But the thing about the success of these two, they have the source material is a widely popular, highly successful stage show with songs that people known for 20 years. So you don't have that pull to go into a third film. Like, this film, when it comes to the marketing, they were already 5 steps ahead with the marketing, because everybody already knew the story. We already knew the songs and everything. So when it comes to the marketing, Wicked was already ahead. So if they would do another story, which would be a kind of original, would not be people know about, they would have to do a lot more smart decisions, focus on the script, focus on the story, try and get some good things going, and go forward from there. So
cool.
That's just my kind of 2 cents about that.
So what's the other honourable mention in entertainment?
Awesome. Okay, so yes, that is about Wicked. So the next thing I was going to do, I'm going to try and get it up at the moment. So I just advised that Avatar: Fire and Ash has just done its press release, and they're doing a lot of fan screenings at the moment in the North America. So they're doing a lot of their early
reviews,
early reviews to it, and they're getting people out there, and actually people are able to do their social media reviews, but the embargo hasn't lifted yet. So I thought it would be a kind of good idea to kind of go through some of these reviews just to see what the people are talking about, what they're saying about it. I'm trying to bring it up now, but it doesn't look my thing is working very well. Just trying to get things up. Here we go. First reactions. Here we go. Alrighty. So I'll just touch on a couple of them, and we'll just go back and forth, shoot the theories across and just see what we think. So, for example, Courtney Howard from Variety. 3 films in, James Cameron still has the source, making this epic spectacular feel emotionally impactful. Simon Thompson from The Playlist. Master storyteller and visionary filmmaker James Cameron again delivers a hyper-real experience that is emotional and exhilarating. This is an audacious feast that delivers more than anyone ordered. Takei Variety. Avatar Fire and Ash is a staggering achievement of movie making and an all-around phenomenal film. Doreen Parks, Geeks of Color. James Cameron did it again. Avatar Fire and Ash is jaw-dropping from start to finish. Never doubt James Cameron. Avatar Fire and Ash is another sprawling, ambitious, and gorgeous adventure. So it goes on and on. So it looks like a lot of the reviews are being very positive for Fire and Ash. Now, I have listened to some other reviews that are coming out of it. Some of them say that the story is nothing. They take a lot of similar tropes from Fire and Water, The Way of Water. So nothing is like that side of things. So, but where you get to is the experience, the visuals, the characters. A lot of people are commenting how amazing Zoe Saldana is.
Imagine seeing how at the Sphere,
yes,
in Vegas, where they're showing the classic Wizard of Oz,
yeah,
right, in the whole thing, immersive dome thing. Imagine watching Avatar on that.
Oh, that will be so real. Well, have you seen the clips of the Sphere with Wizard of Oz at the moment?
Yeah, that's what prompted me. I'm thinking, okay, well, a lot of that's all AI generated to extend the screen. But imagine watching Avatar on that.
Yeah.
I
don't know how that would be so surreal. I would love to go to Vegas and check out the Sphere. That they was talking about like now how well and successful that Wizard of Oz did. They was thinking same putting like the Matrix or Harry Potter or something like that. That would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So like there is so much to talk about when it comes to Avatar Fire and Ash. There is so much writing on it. The fact that they say that at the premiere, people were already asking James Cameron, okay, what's happening with Avatar 4 and 5? Have you written the script? He goes, nothing's been done for 4 and 5. It's all banking how well Fire and Ash does, whether they go back and do 4 and 5. So he hasn't finished any scripts. He hasn't done anything. He's got like maybe storyboards planned out or something like that, but nothing's been done yet. It's all banking on how well Fire and Ash did if they go back and do 4 and 5. So it's just
because those films 4 and 5 are probably going to cost them more money. Like it's probably so goddamn expensive because don't they have to get at least $2 billion to break even for this one?
I don't think it's $2 billion. Actually, now you say that, I am going to check in and see how much Avatar Fire and Ash. Well, on the budget of Avatar Fire and Ash. Okay, so 250 mil US was the budget for Fire and Ash. That's US. So what you do is that's probably just the production budget. Then you also got to take into account marketing budget, and then you got to take into account the fee that the theaters get as well. So I would say it probably has to reach, I don't know,
$1 billion.
Yeah, probably around that. Just maybe at 900 mil or so, just to on the version of breaking even. So, and this is where I get sometimes surprised by people. If this movie does less than The Way of Water, because Way of Water it earned less at the box office than what the first Avatar did. Now, if this film does less than what The Way of Water did, The Way of Water still earned a good amount. Like I think it didn't go as much as the first one did, but
no, it got 2.3 bill.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like what they were able to accomplish, like 2.32 billion. That is still a massive success. And if Fire and Ash can get to that mark, that's still a success story. Just because it didn't reach the mark of the other two or doesn't go better than them doesn't mean it's a failure, because as long as you break even, you make a profit, that's a win.
Yeah.
So I don't know where people are coming. Oh, if it doesn't reach 2.3, it's a failure. Since when? Like it still breaks even. As long as it breaks even and makes money, that's all they really care about. And so, as long as in the reception that the audience get is positive, that's all that needs to be done. So, I just think that everything that they're saying about it, I will be going into it with a little bit of a cautious. The fact that when it comes to the story, they're doing a lot of similar threads and tones that they did with The Way of Water. So I'll be intrigued to see and take into account that. But the reason why you go to the movies is to have experiential events. That's what films are meant to be. And James Cameron always delivers on the experience. I've gone out of both Avatar's films, walking out having an experience. So I have no doubt that James Cameron will be delivering with Fire and Ash. I am so looking forward to seeing what he delivers with. As a pundit that I listen to online, he calls them the Mordor Na'vi because it's all about fire. So I'm so pumped up to see it. Now, for our audience's note, do not expect a review for Avatar Fire and Ash the week after its release. Due to circumstances and my current schedule, I'll be watching Avatar Fire and Ash on Boxing Day. So probably the first episode into the new year, you will get a review of Avatar Fire and Ash. But what I'll try and do is I'll try and get some thoughts together and maybe a precursor before I walk in, and maybe my initial thoughts walking out as well. So
I'm looking forward to hearing your take on it also.
Yeah. Do you think we're wrapping up this kind of segment? What is your thoughts on the reviews? Is your expectations been moved a bit? Because I know you're on this podcast. You're not the person.
I will watch it. I will watch it.
Yeah.
I just checked out the length of it. I'm going to wait for Disney Plus.
So it's the longest in the franchise.
I don't have the patience for something which I'm not fully invested in for 3 hours and 17 minutes, right? I'll put it this way. I fell asleep during...
That's 5 minutes longer than Way of Water. I think something like that.
But I saw Way of Water on Disney Plus. So I think I'll wait for Disney Plus. Dude, you watched it on the wrong
format. You got to at least watch Avatar once where it's intended on the big screen with that sound.
I saw the original Avatar on the big screen 3 times. I saw it as a preview screening.
Yeah.
Through my work at the time.
Yeah.
Then I saw it as a regular, just another regular screening with someone who I was dating at the time.
Yep.
And then she wanted to see it on the IMAX in
Sydney.
This is all in Brisbane.
Oh, yep.
So I saw it. We saw it again on the IMAX in 3D. That's what we did. We saw it 3D at the IMAX in Brisbane. So in South Bay. So I had watched it 3 times and loved every moment of it. But it's just, it's kind of like I'll watch it. I know I won't be able to. It'll just be wasted on me if I went and saw it in the cinema because I'm not deeply passionate about it. So I look forward to hearing your review about it.
But you're going for the experience of it all. So it's like one of those things like what is on screen. Like you can't capture that on a small screen on streaming.
I know. Maybe
I'll come over and just pull you out.
Well, I just re-signed back up to Disney Plus. So
did I. Hey.
Yeah. I took advantage of the Black Friday sales. So, I got it I bought a yearly plan at a good rate.
Nice. Well, maybe we'll organise something. Maybe you and I will catch up with you. We're severely overdue for a movie catch-up, so maybe Avatar might be, or I could really torture you and we can do a double feature with Avatar and something else that's like a 6 hours at the cinema or something. Maybe we can remiss your glory days, mate, of having a marathon. Let's see how young at heart you really are.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I was waiting for something like that. So that is our entertainment honorable mentions, everybody. Very kind of quick segment this week. Wasn't too much in the zeitgeist that I could pick up. But this is all about just working on the success of what's going on in the film industry. How great is what Wicked is doing for good, and how looks like we're getting some great responses out of Avatar: Fire and Ash, which we should not be surprised. Being James Cameron, you never doubt James Cameron; he always delivers. So I am
Actually, you know
expecting
what
him
I
to
will say?
deliver.
I will see that in the cinema, but only for the Avengers Doomsday trailer, and then I'll leave.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll handcuff you to the seat.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right.
So that is entertainment honorable mentions.
Thank you, Reece.
Woo-wee.
All right. We're going from honorable mentions to something that is killing it in the box office at the time of this recording.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, they've jumped on this early, and it's going to ride all the way through the month as well, especially the holiday break. So, great marketing thing, and it's a sequel as well. I haven't seen the first one, but I have seen all the clips, and I'm basically the sloth.
Yeah.
So, and that is what did you see, Reece?
Zootopia. We are back into the world of Zootopia. We are Disney. Zootopia 2. Yes. So this kind of also works very well because this film is doing remarkably well. Like, this film opened up last week, and this film has already made worldwide half a billion.
Yeah, it's
over one weekend. So that's crazy. So right now, at the moment, this movie has made worldwide 589,289,000 million. Like, it's like, that is crazy. And so, but I liked the first one. I wasn't one of those people who was a massive fan of the first one, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was an interesting take. It's different. Animals in their own little world. They got a little city and all that kind of stuff, and they do a lot of little like a lot of little tropes, and it was fun. And seeing Jason Bateman as the fox, and then Jennifer Goodwin as the bunny, and all these different voices throughout it. It was a fun and entertaining film. It's not my favorite out of the Disney animation films, but I enjoyed it for what it was, the first one. So I walked into the second one having mediocre kind of expectations, and going, oh well, as long as it builds on the mythology and the story and expands the world, I'll be happy, and just have nice little laughs and good animation. I'll be happy. I walked out loving this film. It was beautiful to look at. Disney animation has not missed a beat. It's still beautiful to look at. The story is I wouldn't say, oh my god, it's the best story in the world, but I find the story was a little bit better than the first. I actually quite enjoyed the story. It was a good, a big kind of twist and turns here and there. It's kind of intriguing to see the originality of the world building. They expanded on it, which is what I loved. Pretty much the introduction of Ki Kwan's Gary the Snake was just perfect. Drop in there with a bunch of other supporting cast members and things like well. The amount of pop culture Easter eggs that I picked up in this film, things from Stephen King to what else was there? There was even a blink and you miss it Indiana Jones Easter egg, given that Ki Kwan is in the film as well. There is so much little jolts here and there, and it was so much fun. The thoughtfulness that the filmmakers did in this film was definitely apparent. They definitely did some thought, because it's been so long since, I won't say it's been too long, but it has been a little bit a while since the first one came out. And so they definitely jumped into that, and they exceeded my personal expectations for the film. I thought that they blended very well with the narrative of the story, bringing in good humor through the dynamic between Fox and Bunny, and going and just building on their relation. They didn't change. They didn't actually just keep it mediocre when it comes to their relation. They actually evolved their relationship, and they actually got to a point towards the end. This is no spoilers as always, but there's a moment towards the end, going in pretty much toward the middle of the third act, where it actually gets pretty deep in a certain moment between the two characters. And so a lot of that part, I think it would go over a lot of kids' heads, but the parents or the adults watching it, they were going, it got a bit deep there for a bit. So that part I actually enjoyed. And I can't talk about this film Now, this is not a spoiler because this was shown as one of the marketing points when they did the premiere. It was on the red carpet, so they actually talk about it before they released worldwide. Robert Irwin has a part in this film. They got an Aussie because throughout the entire film, this is not much anything to do with the plot or anything. They just said they got Outback Island. They're going, we're going to go to Outback Island kind of thing, get a margarita kind of thing. And then they use Robert Irwin. He's the kind of the person who goes like that. He plays a koala. Yep. So it was like perfect. And it was like, he's not like a big scene. At least he has like one line. And then that's pretty much it. But it was like watching that and then just seeing Robert Irwin, like hearing his voice and the very Aussie accent. It was just like, just tipped off to him about like the fact that they've included Australia in this world. It was so amazing. And then bringing back Shakira to play the diva, or like one of the pop divas in the movie, where she actually did a song for the movie, which was been really catchy. I've been listening to it quite frequently this week. It's been very catchy, which shouldn't be surprising. It was also co-written by Ed Sheeran, so no surprises there. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought if you want a good fun time at the movies, this film would deliver for it. Just like Wicked for Good, I think this film would have legs and have a good theatrical run into the Christmas period, where parents were taking their kids on multiple times. I think that they did very well with being able to provide really likable characters you could relate to. The kids could very much get attached to. They put the characters in scenarios that are different than the first one, and being able to very much have a lot more engaging way of showing how they can actually get out of certain situations and things like that, and just having a fun time. Like, I was so thoroughly enjoyed by this film. Like, I didn't look at my watch the entire film. I was locked in, watching everything, picking out all the Easter eggs, all the fun moments, and just I had a lot more fun in this one than I did in the first one. So if this was on streaming, I would watch this one over the first one. I personally think this one's better than the first, so that's my personal opinion. Now, wow. I would give this film...
What do you give it out of 5?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm kind of crossing up between it. Like, originally, I think at the moment I've given it 4 stars and a like, but it's very narrow to giving it 4.5, because I don't think it's an absolutely perfect film, because I think I could pick out 1 or 2 points that lags a little bit when it comes to certain character moments and certain issues when it comes to pacing at key points. But other than that, it's a beautiful film, which I quite enjoyed. So I could give it a 4.5, but just as a safe, like no doubt about it, 4 stars easily. So thoroughly enjoyed it. I would recommend it to anybody who's even on the fence about it. Go and have some fun. Just leave.
Combination of a family, or like it's a family film that has also some subtle adult jokes or references in it.
I would say adult jokes, but there are a lot of the emotional moments will go over the kids' heads, and it'll be pretty much set to like very much similar, like not to the scale of what Inside Out 2 was. Like, a lot of the emotional and the impact of Inside Out 2 was directed towards the adult audience, because especially how they dealt with anxiety and things like with Inside Out 2, which the kids wouldn't understand. And so it doesn't go that deep like Inside Out did, but there's a moment in, like I said, in the third act where it goes a bit deep, which the parents would get and understand, but the kids pretty wouldn't get it very often. But so it doesn't have a lot of those moments. I think maybe 2 moments in the entire film where it actually gets a little bit deep. But other than that, it's just a nice, good narrative. The tone's great, and it just fulfills what it definitely. The wait was. It was definitely worth the wait. That's cool. That's what I say. So, thumbs up from me. 4 stars easily. Go out, enjoy it, have some fun, and journey back to the world of Zootopia.
Excellent.
Alrighty, so that is the first one. Now we're gonna twist the tables just like we did last episode, and we're going to leave the floor to the Map Man. So he's watched a film. He's watched a film this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's 2 weeks in a row. We're on a roll now, and we're going to keep the rhythm going. You have watched the film now. I found this intriguing when I looked on your Letterboxd and saw you watch this because I only recently watched the first one of this film. Only quite recently. You sat me down. I watched the first one of this film.
I forced you.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I found it was an intriguing concept with the way they did it, this spoof documentary style film. So I thought it was a good concept. Now, of course, everyone, we are talking about Spinal Tap II. Matt, let it rip. What did you think?
Yes, let it rip. Spinal Tap 2, the end continues. So, to summarize it up quickly, you need to be a fan of the first one, but it's a continuation, and it's also taking the mickey out of all these bands that have returned from the past to do like a reunion concert, a performance, or anything like that. And the reason why the bands have gone their own way, like all the band members and everything else. Spinal Tap, they dissolved around 2009. They went their own different directions. So Nigel ended up semi-retiring in a way, going to, and he created, or he now owns and operates a cheese shop. I should say an artisan cheese shop, but if you look on the sign, it's artisanal. Artisanal, all right? But it looks, when you read it, it's artisanal or artisanal. So, so it's got little subtle jokes like that, and referring to certain bits and pieces, like going up to 11. They don't use that joke again, obviously. But so Nigel is a cheese shop owner.
So did they actually expand on like narrative or characters or anything like that, or is it just like very much the same as like they just act the same?
So I forgot the names of the thing, so I was explaining it to you. So sorry, I'll start it again. So Nigel is a cheese shop owner. David, he like the lead singer, guitarist. Well, they're all guitarists, but he ends up being a producer or a composer, making jingles for commercials and podcasts.
Which
is a bit unfair. So, and Derek Smalls, who's the bass player. He ends up running or owning and operating a museum of glue. So, glue from around the world.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So they've gone all different directions, and there's cameos galore. Right?
Okay.
From the first one, so like any major ones, like Fran Drescher makes an appearance.
She comes back.
Yeah, she comes back, and same with what's his name, Paul Schaefer. So Paul Schaefer returns as well, and so some of the characters who have passed on, unfortunately in real life, they bring on saying that they have daughters or sons or whatever who inherit. So
but
the thing is, though, why is it taking so long to come up with a sequel for this? Well, it's been a major debacle for decades, where the ownership of Spinal Tap IP, the three of them wanted, like Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer wanted to make a second movie, but because it was delayed by ownership and IP and everything else like that. And
so does this film, like, I know I've seen a lot of people walking around with the ship, but at the time that the first one was released, did it have a massive big opening?
No, it wasn't.
Or was it very much like one of those films where it didn't actually do very well, but it actually gained popularity as the years went on?
Correct. So put it this way. In 1984, that's when the first one came out. Budget was $2 million, box office 5.8, right? So it's a moderate hit, but very low budget type movie. And this one, a bit more expensive, and it didn't set the world on fire because it didn't get a big release. Like it didn't go everywhere. Like the only way you could really see it is if you go to one of those artisanal cinemas.
Yeah.
And so it's just them. The whole concept basis of the film is that the trio have reunited, and there's a bit of blood between Nigel and David, and it's never explained why until towards the end. They get together again. There's blink and miss at cameos, and there's a few throwbacks as well, and then there's jam sessions, which is quite refreshing, where you have big name personalities and stars of, say, the original film, but also a fictionalized version of themselves as well. Yeah. So it's like a half and half. So Sir Paul McCartney and Sir Elton John. So they are, they just casually pop up, and it's like a fly on the wall type thing in a way of watching it.
Okay.
So it's a mockumentary documentary in a way.
Yeah, okay. So they definitely, from what you're saying, they stick to the same formula that the first one had, and when it comes to how they shoot the narrative of the mockumentary,
but it's
are the characters all kind of the exact same?
They're the exact same, but they're way older.
Yep. So there's no development of characters or anything like that. It's just they're making it just for the fans, and you kind of like a fun rehash.
Because it's also like a homage to the original.
Yeah. Because
there's throwbacks to it, or there's moments where they're interviewing like the new drummer or whatever, and it's like, the drummer's a fan of Spinal Tap, but they're aware of all the deaths of the drummers, of unfortunate guarding accident, and another one, dying from choking on someone else's vomit, others who are spontaneously combusted. So it's like a throwback, like flashback throwback film in a way, just to like a refresher, and then they do this. So I overall, it's entertaining. There's no new fresh songs really, but it's more or less meant to be a reunion tour type thing, or reunion for one thing only, one night only type thing.
Yep.
And they get the band together for that, just to see if they can still
make it work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like from what you're saying, if you like the first one, you love the second one. They still stick to the same formula, the same tone is still the same, and they're just picking up from their characters so many years later, and just to see what they're up to, and they pretty much they end it. And
it is like a where are they now? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they know that Spinal Tap was a classic, and then they put modern artists in and everything else, saying that they're fans of Spinal Tap, and that because the band, they get back together due to the fact that Garth Brooks and Trisha Year will do a cover of the song Big Bottom, and it goes viral. So because of that, they go, because it went viral, how about we get them back together again? So that's the premise of it. And then they end up getting, to perform at one area, which is in New Orleans.
Okay.
In fact, dovetail there, Harry Shearer, he's a, New Orleans, he wears New Orleans on his sleeve. So
okay, cool.
So other than that, there's it's more or less a what do you call it? If you love your music, like if you're a fan of Spinal Tap, yes, like it's basically Spinal Tap 2 is trying to appeal to the younger audience or modernize it. So the younger audience now is
another legacy sequel trying to bring it into trying to build a new fan base.
Trying to modernize it, and just show like a bit of flashback memories, and then they go, all right, so for all the parents who go, oh yeah, Spinal Tap to their kids, and the kids go, what is it? It's kind of like that, right. Or revisiting the Beatles on Disney Plus. When someone watches it, your teenagers or whatever, and they listen to old school stuff, and they go, oh, if you like what it is there, how about you listen to this stuff or watch this stuff? So it's kind of bring them to modern age and modern era. So
Right. Okay.
other than that, there was no big laughs. It was a little dry, and I feel like that while it was entertaining, and they just didn't have enough jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've made the movie to because they've been wanting to for ages, and also to announce that they've got the IP of the characters back, basically.
Nice. Well, the French kind of bring it around. So, did they deliver what you wanted out of it? Did you get what you wanted out of the sequel? Or
I found it entertaining. It doesn't hold up to the cult status of what the first one did, because that was laughs aplenty, subtle jokes and everything else. They did what they could with this one, so I was still entertained by it. And yes, I will be buying it on physical media if it does come out on that. So to put it up against This is Spinal Tap Blu-ray.
Nice.
So
cool.
yeah, I would watch it again because there is a good jam session that both Elton John and Paul McCartney do.
Okay.
So with the team and with the band, and it's still warm, it's lovable, but they know that they're getting on, and there's some giggles in there, but it won't set your screen on fire or anything like that. But they managed to milk it out another joke about Stonehenge. So
okay, it delivered for you. You liked it. You enjoyed it. It's not as good as the first one, but it's a worthy, somewhat legacy sequel.
It's more or less like a legacy sequel, kind of like when when Blues Brothers 2000 came out. It was basically okay. Well, there's one. Which is basically a legacy sequel to the first one.
I've never seen the first one.
I forgive you.
Okay.
I got it on 4K here.
Okay.
Anyway, they got everyone they could who was still alive back.
Nice.
And it still holds up, but it's more or less a legacy type thing. And I give it 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, so tick of approval from the Matman on Spinal Tap II. Awesome. All right.
And continues.
Okay. Now to round up our awesome episode here, I was one last review, and I am following suit from the man and going to be reviewing an Aussie film, which I'm so happy to hear that this film actually got an international release. It got a release in North America. I've been reading some reviews about some online punditry that I listened to, and a lot of people had the same opinion about me. This film was released early this year. It stars one of our Aussies that have made it kind of big in America, which was Jai Courtney. And this film is Dangerous Animals. This film is pretty much stereotypically, you've got the premise of it is it's set on Surface Paradise. What's in Surface Paradise in the water? Sharks. You take I thought it would be bodies of schoolies. No, what was the first blue bottles or jellyfish or something like that?
No, what that was a shark in the shallows. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty much the premise of the film is it's set at the Surface Paradise, and you have Jai Courtney's character, who is pretty much a psychopath mass murderer. Like, he's a mass murderer who has a fetish of feeding his victims to sharks.
Okay.
And filming them and watching them. So that's the premise. And so Jai Courtney, he looked like he was having fun with this role. Like, you just see it on the screen. He was channeling something completely different. It was fun. Now, the tagline I had in my review is that film of the horror genre that delivers. I thought, like, it's been a long while since I sat down and watched a horror film where I actually was entertained and enjoyed a horror film. It's been a while. I love this film, and not just because I'm not being stereotypically and just being biased because it's Australian. I took that mindset out. I just took it as a film. thought the narrative was strong. I found like the Jai Courtney was frightening and thrilling at times. Throughout the entire thing, you had moments like he was so unhinged in a lot of moments and things like that. The gore factor is definitely there with taking on the shark infested waters and getting them all ponked in. I thought Jai Courtney is definitely the star of the film, but the main lead of the film is an actress by the name of Hasey Harrison, who played Zephyr. She played it beautifully. Like, she was just this person who comes from overseas. She's alone. She's trying to escape a lot of things. She's running away from certain things, and that's the appeal of what Jai Courtney's Bruce Tucker attracts to. Like, he goes after these foreigners or these people who have nobody and who won't be missed, and he kidnaps them, takes them out to sea, takes them for a couple of days, and then hooks them up and then feeds them and films them. Like, lovely gore stuff comes into it. So
wow, okay. Will I watch the Gold Coast, or next time I visit the Gold Coast, will I look at the Gold Coast the same way again?
Well, you see parts of the Gold Coast, but it's the way it's shot. It's not like it. There has certain shots on that main promenade of the Surfers Paradise in the beginning of the film, but then majority of the film is done like out at sea at certain points and at piers. So unless you knew the area very, very well, you wouldn't actually.
I lived on there. I lived there for 6 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So you probably would if you watch it, you probably pick up a lot of the scenes that they filmed in, which was kind of cool. But I thought this film was great. Like, I gave this film 4 stars out of 5. So another film I gave 4 stars. I thought that, like I said, Hasey Harrison led the film. She portrayed a character that was very believable. She was written really well, which really made you root for wanting her to survive. Like, a character is well written in a horror film where you feel connected to the character and you really want her to survive. You want her to overcome the evil that the villain of the horror film is there to portray. And you want the demise of Jai Courtney's Tucker. You want him to be defeated by the hero, and you just really want it. There is a lot of moments in it that, even for me, like I'm a notorious, like, my wife, sometimes she goes, I can't do it with her anymore because I pick plot points, and I go, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I can with this one, there were some moments where I was going, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. And I was so enthralled with that. I loved that because it threw me off guard, and gave me moments that I didn't expect. So I thought that was great, and that's all down to the writing and how it is pretty much translated to the screen. And I thought they did a phenomenal job. They knew when to be suspenseful. They knew when to draw you in. They knew when to use gore. They didn't overdo the gore in certain parts. They just definitely this room was rated MA, and for good reason. There is gore in it, but they don't overdo it, and it's all on the thriller side of things. So I think the only reason why I downgraded it 1 star is because at the moment in the third act, there is a moment where it is so noticeably CGI that it's bad. But it's only in one moment towards the end in the third act, and it didn't diminish the film that one moment. Like, I was going, oh, okay, if that was done very well, that the CGI and certain moments of how they shot it and they done the practical side of things, then it could have been definitely like a 4.5 star film to me. But it lost a 4 star because of that moment. It was so locked into it, and then that didn't happen. I went, it kind of took me out for a couple of minutes before I was allowed to come back in to follow the story, how it concluded. So again, it just shows Australians do know how to make films. We don't have a lot of a international reach when it comes to a lot of our films, which is unfortunate. And I'm so glad that we have a film like this was able to reach an international market, was able to get some good publicity, some good marketing behind it, and was able to get a reach not just on our own shores, but overseas as well. And it kind of makes me think about that, not just this film, but I also watched a film a few years ago by the Filippo brothers. Do you know a film called Talk to Me? And they released a film this year as well. Do you know
I
of
know
Talk?
of the movie Talk to Me. Yes, it's
Okay,
under the Umbrella Entertainment
yeah. So
library.
Talk to Me, and then they brought out a film this year called Bring Her Back, and that's done
Yep.
by the Filippo brothers. Now, I've been a fan of the Filippo brothers since they did their YouTube channel, and the fact that they're now making theatrical films, and the fact that now North Americans know about those brothers because how well Talk to Me was received and how
Hmm.
well Bring Her Back was received, they've stigmatized themselves that they are well crafted filmmakers for the horror genre, but also making it not like there is a lot of scenes where you're going, like, oh my god, you can't really look at it
Wow.
because
So they're like the new, say, Lee Wannell and James Wan
in a
team
way,
up.
they are. They can do a good narrative. They can know how to tell a story. They can do a good narrative plot points. They know how to perceive it, but they know also how to freak you out with moments
I
and doing certain like horror
gotta
genre
admit,
tropes.
Australian film industry is really good at making horror.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And we don't, and it's the fact that like, we don't actually get a lot of recognition for it. And the fact that we got now the Filippo brothers, now we've got some Aussies that have that. We have that backing, and now we have this film, which is even better. Like we've got like the fact that we've got this. I'm not too sure if I know much about the director. His name is Sean Byrne. He did a Aussie film a little while ago called The Loved Ones, which I haven't actually seen. So he hasn't done too many films, but I think that the fact that this film was well received, I think he might get some extra work out of it because it's done very well. So I'm circling back. I thought this film was done very, very well, well written, well acted. It was fun at times. It was Jai Courtney wasn't just stereotypically just evil, and no, you had some points where you were kind of laughing because he's bringing that Aussie kind of charm and the accent, and is really honing into it, which was so much fun to watch. So I think Nick Lepard, who is is a screenwriter for the film, that he did the screenplay and the script, written it very, very well. And like I said, besides that one part with the CGI, which kind of took you out of it for a key moment
Mm.
in the third act, other than that, it's a well-rounded horror film. I could see myself sitting down watching this again in a couple of years' time and getting a good thrill out of it. And I just hope this film does what I hope for, where you can get a lot more recognition for not just the genre films, but for Australian films. And that's why I think they bringing a lot of productions down to Australia because they know we have the industry here, that we have such amazing talent, not just behind in front of the screen, but behind the screen as well. And even in our theater, like I'm a huge theater lover. The fact that we got so much talent, all surrounding entertainment. Like if you indulge me for a quick moment, I think Stuart said it in our review for Wicked for Good last week that we went overseas to New York and we saw the Broadway adaptation of Wicked. And I enjoyed it, but I didn't actually walk out of it loving that production.
Mm.
It all comes down to the characters and the actors if they make you believe in what they're doing on stage. And Stuart was right, and I agree with him. And we both said this when we were walking out in New York. We are so spoiled by our talent here in Australia that we are. I think we just unfortunately we just don't get a lot of recognition for them because we need to be put more on international stage because we have so much great talent. Like I got really emotional when I saw Wicked here last time. I went and saw it twice because of the performances on stage. I love
Yeah.
going to the theater. I love going to see musicals and films like this just show like Jai Courtney should be a lot more of a mainstream actor. Like I know he's in the Die Hard movie that you hate, but he was still a great part. He was still a great part of that film to be part of playing Bruce Willis's son, and then he's Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad, and he's trying to get a break into, but it's a really hard market. But Aussies are, I think we're getting into a point where we're actually getting a
Oh,
lot more noticeable now.
and don't forget the Divergent series.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in that too. So it's fantastic. Like I said, Aussies are we are biased. We love our Aussies. We all support our Aussies when it comes to the industry. My two favorite actors are both Aussie, Hugh Jackman and Margot Robbie. So I just loved it. So just circling back around, please, if you love the genre of horror, and you want to support an Aussie film, rent it, buy it, stream it, whatever you can. Just get the word out there. This is a great film to watch. It was released earlier this year, and it definitely delivered for me. And I thought like it was an entertainment and a return to form for good horror films that don't actually get seen very often. And I think I'm not too sure. Like your thought process on horror. Do you watch a lot of horror?
Oh, I love my Aussie horror, like mainly my Ozploitation horror, because it's just absolutely amazing. That's probably where my passion for Aussie horror comes from. And if you go down that path of Ozploitation horror, just absolutely phenomenal.
Cool.
Like a scary thriller horror, like The Long Weekend, Waking. Well, it's more or less thriller, but the Patrick is a thriller horror. That's one of my favorites as well. But Long Weekend, which has got John Hargraves and Bryony Betts, where they go out camping to try and rescue their relationship, their marriage, and then they start destroying, the wildlife.
Yeah.
Just not caring, and suddenly the wildlife attacks them, and that's a horror. But the way it's done, beautiful, because there's very little dialogue.
Right.
And there's just others. Like, if you want great Aussie horror, go down the Ozploitation genre.
Okay.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino loves that stuff. He was inspired.
Right, okay. But outside of Ozploitation, do you do much of just mainstream of horror, or are you not much into that?
Mainstream, I would go if it's comedy horror.
Right. So things like when I was referring to Talk to Me, Bring Her Back, Scream, those kind of mainstream horror kind of things, you wouldn't go down. You pretty much stay away from them because they're too much.
Probably Talk to Me. I would. I've been suggested it a couple of times, but
I thoroughly I recommended. I got Stuart to sit down and watch Talk to Me. He didn't love it as much as I did, but I thought it wasn't just a good horror film. It had a great narrative story behind it, which is I was so surprised by those Filippo brothers. So I would recommend that. I haven't been able to sit down and watch Bring Her Back yet, but it is on my list of things to watch. But
usually anything, I'll go down like Umbrella Entertainment. This is not an ad.
Yeah.
So they can pay us.
No, you just say you're a spokesperson who actually loves that studio.
I love that label, yeah. And like half of my, well, 3/4 of my Aussie collection is Umbrella.
Yep.
They've got a great catalogue of Aussie films, and obviously they love their horror as well. So in fact, they're the ones who have released the Talk to Me.
Yeah.
In fact, they released like a limited edition with The Hand.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that film. Like it is a favorite of mine. So, but yeah. So
one that I mentioned earlier, which it comes out this month or December 2025 in the 4K restoration is Lake Mungo.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that previously. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a thriller horror.
Nice. Well, that is Dangerous Animals. That is
back to Dangerous Animals. What do you give it out of 5?
I gave it a solid 4 stars, and it's like I said, it only dropped down that 1 star from it's a really tall order for me to give a film 5 stars. Like I said in the past, I have to have literally no notes and no criticisms for a film to give it 5 stars. Like the last film I gave 5 stars was Wicked. Like I don't think I even gave Superman this year 5 stars. And I think I digress. The last film I gave 5 stars was Sinners, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
You know what? When we're talking about Australian horror movies, I totally forgot. It was right below me. It's one that I took you to. Look,
Last Night with the Devil. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a great horror movie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot. I thought it was going to be a lot more scarier because the trailer made it look like a lot more scarier.
Yeah. So Late Night with the Devil. There we go.
Yeah, because I gave Superman 4.5 stars, and so any theatrical release film I haven't actually given a lot of pretty much any 5 stars. I think the last one I actually gave was Sinners, and that was like quite a while ago. So yeah, actually no, even Sinners I gave 4.5. So it's been a while. So I think Wicked was the last one I actually gave a full 5 stars for a theatrical release. So it's a tall order for me to give a movie 5 stars. So this is a solid, but it's still a good thing. A solid 4 stars is still a good recommendation. So anyone who's a fan of that genre, Aussies, give it a go and have some fun. I'm going to put this on our list for you and me. I think this is ever growing. I think we have to eventually get to a point where we actually start to knock off some of these on our list.
Holidays are coming up soon, so.
Oh, yes.
Well, at least my holidays.
Yeah. Well, mate, take us out, man.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Reece. And thank you to you, the listener, for downloading, listening, and wasting your precious time on our ramblings. So again, stay following, subscribed, etc. Feel free to email us. Email is info@mygeekculture.com.au. And yeah, just share the love pretty much. And because we do this for passion, love, and
we love
everything
it.
else.
We absolutely love it. And the fact that we have
try to be not non-biased at all. So
the fact that we have an audience who are happy to listen to us and give us their time to listen to a podcast, we do not take that for granted. We love doing this every single week for you guys, and it's a good ways of us to vent and talk about all things we love, all about movies and TV shows and entertainment. So thank you so much for doing it. If you have any feedback or any things you'd like us to watch, putting things on our radar, please send it through to that inbox from Matt, and please have a safety holiday period. We're still going to be punching out these episodes for you guys to listen to and hopefully enjoy. So signing off from Reece's reviews from Matt Geek Culture and the Matt Man of the awesomeness. My name is Reece Cashel, and as always, may the force be with you.
Yeah, may the shorts be with you. This has been a mygeekculture.com.au podcast produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au. Hey, that's my name.
What's my name? That's my name.